You need to reschedule your wedding." I stared at my phone, processing what my dad just said. "What?" I asked. "Your brother got engaged. We're throwing him an engagement party on October 15th. You'll need to move your wedding date, October 15th. My wedding day." So you're probably wondering, how the hell did I end up dealing with this? Before we get into that, hi, I'm Jana, and this is the story of how my parents would drop anything, flip the entire universe just to be there for their favorite, the golden child, the never-do-wrong son, Tyler. Yeah, this is a golden child story, but I didn't go scorched earth or get revenge. I just got tired of their total BS and slowly disappeared from their life. Well, actually, they told me to disappear. So really, I'm just being a good daughter, gave them exactly what they wanted. Let me start from the beginning. I was born into a family that already had a favorite child. My brother Tyler is 3 years older than me, and from the moment I could understand basic human interaction, I knew he was the golden child. Not because he was particularly talented or smart or kind, but because my parents, Lindsay and Paul Matthews, decided he was special. And once parents decide something like that, good luck changing their minds. Let me give you the greatest hits of my childhood. Think of this as a highlight reel, except instead of highlights, it's lowlights. Lowlights? Is that a word? Whatever. When I was 12, my parents took me to McDonald's for my birthday. Just the three of us. Tyler was conveniently at a friend's house. I got a Happy Meal. Yes, a Happy Meal at 12 years old, and a card with $20 inside. "Happy birthday, sweetheart," my mom said. "Thanks," I said quietly, wondering if the teenage employees judged me for ordering a Happy Meal. 2 months later, Tyler turned 15. And oh boy, rented arcade, 25 of his closest friends, custom cake that probably cost more than my entire birthday budget for the year. Mountains of presents. When I asked my dad why Tyler's party was so different, he said, 15 is a big milestone. "And 12 isn't?" I asked. He didn't answer. He was already helping my mom hang up a banner that said, "Happy 15th, Tyler," in letters so big you could probably see them from space. Christmas when I was 14 was when I really understood the situation. Tyler opened present after present. Gaming computer, iPhone, iPad, designer clothes. I'm talking thousands of dollars here. Thousands. I got one gift. One. A t-shirt from the clearance rack. The tag was still on it, $9.99. And get this, it was size small. I was a medium. "Thanks," I said quietly. No one heard me. They were too busy helping Tyler figure out how to set up his new gaming computer. You know, the one that cost more than some people's rent. But here's the thing. I had Uncle Oscar, my dad's brother, and his wife, Aunt Melissa. While my parents were at Tyler's soccer games, Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa were at my school plays. While my parents forgot my achievements, they remembered every single one. They were the ones who actually showed up. Uncle Oscar was more of a father to me than my own dad ever was. And that's not me being dramatic. That's just facts. The summer I was 15, my family planned this big trip to Disney World, 2 whole weeks. "We're all going to Florida," my mom announced. I actually got excited. I know. I should have known better by then. But I was 15 and hopeful. Then I overheard my dad on the phone booking the hotel. "We need a room with 2 queen beds," he said. "The boy can share one, my wife and I take the other." I stood in the hallway doing mental math. Tyler was the only boy. So, where exactly was I supposed to sleep? The bathtub? The hotel lobby? The week before the trip, I made my move. "Mom, I don't think I can go. I'm not feeling well," I said. She barely looked up from packing. "Oh, that's too bad, honey. We'll bring you something back." No questions about what was wrong. No insistence that I come anyway. No concern whatsoever. Just relief. I could hear it in her voice. So I spent 2 weeks alone in that house at 15 years old while my family went to Disney World. Without me. The house they apparently forgot I existed in. When they came back, my mom handed me a plastic bag like she was giving me a participation trophy. "We got you souvenirs," she said cheerfully. Inside was a t-shirt that said "Someone who loves me went to Disney World," which felt like a lie, in size extra large. I was a medium, wrong direction this time, but still wrong, and a Mickey Mouse keychain. "Thanks," I said flatly. I took them to my closet and shoved them in a box. still in the packaging. They joined the growing collection of unopened vacation souvenirs. I was basically running a museum of parental neglect at this point. This happened every single vacation. Yellowstone, the beach, Vegas for Tyler's 21st birthday. Yes, take a family trip to Vegas for his 21st, and I wasn't invited. I didn't even get the courtesy of a fake invitation I could decline. Every time, wrong size t-shirt and a keychain. But here's where it gets good or bad, depending on your perspective. When I turned 16, I asked my dad to teach me to drive. "Oh, yeah, sure," he said, not looking up from his laptop. "We'll get to that soon. I'm just swamped with work right now." Weeks passed. I asked again. "Next month, kiddo, I promise." That promise? Broken. Once again. You know who did teach me to drive? Uncle Oscar. Every Saturday morning for 3 months. He showed up at 7 a.m., 7 in the morning, to take me to empty parking lots and teach me how to parallel park. When I passed my test on the first try, he took me out to breakfast. Then he handed me keys to his old 1998 Honda Civic. Faded paint, worn interior, 150,000 miles on it, but clean and well-maintained because Uncle Oscar actually takes care of things. Including me, apparently. "It's not fancy, but it runs great," he said. "A car is freedom, kiddo. You take care of it, and it'll take care of you." I hugged him so tight I probably cracked a rib. Now you might be thinking, "Jana, what did your parents get Tyler for his 18th birthday?" Oh, I'm so glad you asked. A brand new Honda Accord, literally fresh off the lot, midnight blue. They took about 75 photos for Facebook. But you know what? Uncle Oscar's beat-up Civic meant more to me than any new car ever could, because it came with something my parents never gave me. Time, effort, love. Okay, sorry, I'm getting emotional. Moving on. My last Christmas living at home, I was 17. Just the 4 of us since Tyler was home from college. Tyler opened his presents like a kid on a shopping spree. New laptop, designer sneakers, and I'm talking the limited edition ones that people camp out for. AirPods, expensive cologne that probably cost more per ounce than gold. Then my mom handed me my present. I opened it, a hoodie. Wrong size, naturally, medium when I was an extra large by then. A plain pink mug with no design. Just pink. And a calculator. I held up the hoodie and looked at the size tag. "Wow, a hoodie this time," I said, and I couldn't keep the sarcasm out of my voice even if I tried. "Not a t-shirt from the discount rack." I held it higher. And wow, wrong size again. It's like a tradition at this point. The room went quiet. You could have heard a pin drop, or in this case, a cheap keychain hit the floor. I pulled out the mug and calculator. A mug and a calculator. Because nothing says we love you like basic math and lukewarm beverages. I looked at Tyler's mountain of expensive gifts, then back at my parents. "Serious question," I said. "How come Tyler gets the latest laptop, designer sneakers that cost more than my entire gift pile for the last 5 years, and I get clearance rack clothes that don't even fit?" "Jana," my mom started, looking like a deer in headlights. "We thought you liked those clothes," she said defensively. I actually laughed, like genuinely laughed. Liked them? I never wore them, not one single piece, because they're never my size. "That's not fair," my dad said, which was rich coming from him. "You know what? It's fine," I said, standing up with my size medium hoodie. "Thank you so much for the gifts, really, but I can't wear this." Shocking, I know. I started walking toward the stairs. "What's your problem?" Tyler muttered behind me. "Oh, Tyler. Sweet, oblivious Tyler." I stopped, turned around. "Gee, Tyler, I wonder what my problem could be," I said, and my voice was ice cold. "Look at your gifts. Every single year you get top-of-the-line everything. The newest gadgets, the best brands, the works. And me? They just pick whatever's on the clearance rack and throw in a little plastic keychain for good measure." I held up the hoodie like evidence in court. This year they upgraded to a hoodie. Character development, truly. But it's still too small. This is going straight into the box where I keep all the other wrong-size gifts they've given me over the years. It's quite a collection. I'm thinking of donating it. Clothes for people who actually fit in them. I looked at my parents. But you know what? It's totally okay. Tyler's the golden child. Always has been. And me? I get the scraps, the leftovers, the clearance rack special. I went upstairs and closed the door. They never apologized. never explained. Never even acknowledged that conversation happened. They just acted like nothing was wrong, which honestly, somehow worse than if they'd argued with me. 6 months later, in July, I dropped the bomb at dinner. Tyler was back at college, so it was just the three of us. "I'm leaving for college in August," I said, cutting into my chicken like I was announcing the weather. My mom's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. "What? When did this happen?" she asked. "I applied in January. Got accepted in March. Full scholarship to State University. Accounting major." 4 months. I'd known for 4 months. That's 1/3 of a year for those keeping track at home. "Why didn't you tell us?" my dad asked. I looked at him. Really looked at him. Would it have mattered? Silence. That's what I thought. "We could have helped with applications," my mom started. "I didn't need help," I said. "I've been saving money from babysitting and tutoring since I was 14. I have enough for living expenses. I already have a part-time job lined up as a bank teller. I won't need anything from you." My mom set down her fork. "Jana, why have you been so distant lately? What's going on with you?" "Oh, we're doing this now? Okay, you really want to know?" I asked. They both nodded, probably expecting me to say something about teenage hormones or whatever parents tell themselves. "It's not about the gifts, really," I said. "Though let's be honest, the gifts are a pretty good metaphor. It's about you being fundamentally unfair. You're always present. Physically, you're here, but you're also completely absent in every way that actually matters." I took a breath. "Tyler, you would flip the entire universe just to be there for him. Move mountains, cancel plans, spend thousands of dollars, whatever he needs, whenever he needs it. Me, I get whatever's left over, the scraps, the afterthought, the wrong-sized clearance rack t-shirt of your attention." "That's not true," my dad started. "But you know what?" I cut him off. "Never mind. You're still not going to understand. You're still going to think you did nothing wrong. You're still going to tell yourselves you treated us equally while Tyler gets a new car and I get a $9 t-shirt." I stood up. "I need to pack my stuff." I left the table. They didn't follow me. Shocker. They never did. August came faster than I expected, or maybe I'd just been waiting for it so long it felt fast. I packed everything that mattered into my Civic. Uncle Oscar's Civic. Really? But mine now. My parents came outside as I loaded the last box. "We can follow you, help you move in," my dad said, and I almost laughed. "Now? Now you want to help?" "Uncle Oscar is taking me. He has a work trip in that area," I said. "Oscar?" My mom looked surprised, which was hilarious considering Oscar had been more present in my life than they had. "Yeah, it worked out perfectly." "But we're your parents," she started. "I have to finish packing. Uncle Oscar will be here soon." As if on cue, because Uncle Oscar has impeccable timing, his truck pulled into the driveway. He got out, gave my parents a nod that could freeze hell, and came over to me. "Ready, kiddo?" he asked. "Ready," I said. I hugged my mom briefly. The kind of hug you give a distant relative at a funeral. Shook my dad's hand like we were closing a business deal. Got in my car, Uncle Oscar got in his truck, and we left. I looked at the sticky note on my dashboard, the one I'd written when I was 14. 4 more years was crossed out. Written below it in fresh ink. Free. College was like stepping into a different universe, one where I actually mattered. I didn't call when I got there, even though my mom had specifically asked me to. Oops, the first few weeks she called constantly. I'd answer occasionally, just enough to keep them from filing a missing persons report. "Hi, Mom? Jana, how are classes?" she'd ask, like we were best friends catching up. "Fine, busy. Are you eating enough?" "I'm fine. Call more often, okay? We miss you." "I have to go?" I'd say and hang up. I never said love you back, not once. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Absolutely. Thanksgiving rolled around. "Will you be home for Thanksgiving?" my mom asked. "Can't. Work," I said. Total lie. I'd already made plans with Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa, but what they didn't know wouldn't hurt them, or me. Christmas, I made an appearance. Showed up at 10 a.m. like I was clocking in for a shift. We opened gifts. Tyler got his usual pile of expensive everything. I got another mug and another calculator. At this point, I could open a calculator store. Jana's Calculator Emporium, because your parents forget what they got you last year. "Thanks," I said flatly. By noon, I was ready to leave. Stay for dinner, my mom said. Can't. Long drive, I said. It was 12:30 p.m. I'd been there 2.5 hours. This became my pattern for 4 years. Minimal contact, surface-level conversations that wouldn't even qualify as small talk. When my mom would call, she'd eventually start talking about Tyler. His job, his apartment, his new girlfriend, his life, his everything. I just wait for an acceptable amount of time to pass before making an excuse to hang up. I graduated summa cum laude at 22. That's Latin for I worked my ass off and succeeded. I told my parents about it. Of course, they called me the night before to cancel because Tyler needs them to be there. Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa came instead. Front row. They cried proud tears. Aunt Melissa brought flowers. Uncle Oscar brought a card with money in it and a note that said, "We always knew you'd do great things." By 25, I was a senior accountant with my own apartment. 1 bedroom, all mine. No roommates, no parents, no Tyler. Just me, my IKEA furniture, and my hard-earned peace and quiet. My parents knew none of these details, didn't know what my apartment looked like, didn't know what I did at work, didn't know anything real about my life. I was there, but I wasn't really there, just like they'd been my whole childhood. Funny how that works. After college, Uncle Oscar pulled me aside one Sunday. "You should keep trying with them, kiddo," he said gently. "They're your parents. Keep the door open. We're here for you, no matter what." So I did. Not because I expected anything to change, but because Uncle Oscar asked me to. When I got promoted to senior accountant at 25, which is actually a big deal, by the way, I called my mom. "I got promoted. I want to take you and Dad to dinner to celebrate," I said. "That's wonderful. When?" she asked, and I could practically hear her already thinking of an excuse. "Saturday night." "Oh, Saturday. Tyler has something that night. We promised we'd be there." Of course Tyler had something. "Okay," I said calmly. "Enjoy your day with Tyler." "Maybe we could do Sunday," she started. "It's fine, Mom." I hung up. I went to dinner with Uncle Oscar, Aunt Melissa, and some friends from work instead. We had a great time. I got a little tipsy on celebratory wine. Nobody got me a calculator. This pattern repeated for 3 years. 3 years. I'd invite them to see my new apartment. "Tyler's moving furniture. He needs our help." I'd invite them to my company holiday party where I was getting an award. "Tyler's girlfriend's family is having dinner. It's important." Every single time, "Tyler needs us." Every single time, "It's okay. Enjoy your day with Tyler." I'd hang up before they could make excuses or try to reschedule, because we all knew they wouldn't follow through anyway. Uncle Oscar noticed, because of course he did. "You're handling this well, kiddo," he said one Sunday over coffee. "I'm not expecting anything," I said, shrugging. "I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. Inviting them, including them, being the bigger person. What they do with that is on them." And here's the thing, I wasn't hurt anymore. I'd done my grieving years ago. These attempts were purely about obligation, about being able to say I tried, and every rejection just confirmed what I already knew. I wasn't their priority. I never had been, and I never would be. When I was 27, I met Thomas Parker at the bank where I worked. He came in to open a business account for his consulting firm. Professional, polite, asked actually intelligent questions about interest rates, and then he asked if I wanted to get coffee. 6 months of coffee dates turned into dinners, turned into weekends, turned into love. Wild, right? I wanted my parents to meet him. I know, I'm a glutton for punishment. I'm seeing someone. Thomas. "Dinner Saturday?" I asked my mom. "Wonderful. Yes, we'd love to meet him," she said. And I actually believed her for like 5 whole seconds. Friday night, the phone rang. "Tyler needs help moving tomorrow. Can we reschedule?" I didn't even feel disappointed, just tired. "It's okay, Mom. Enjoy your day with Tyler." I hung up. I took Thomas to meet Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa instead. They loved him. Asked him about his business, his family, his intentions. Uncle Oscar actually used the word intentions, like we were in a Jane Austen novel. Thomas loved them right back. "Your aunt and uncle are wonderful," he said on the drive home. "They are," I agreed. "What about your parents?" he asked carefully. "They chose Tyler," I said simply. "They always choose Tyler." 8 months later, Thomas proposed. Not with some elaborate flash mob or stadium jumbotron or whatever. Just him, me, our apartment, and a ring he'd been saving up for. "Jana," he said, getting down on one knee in our kitchen. "Will you marry me?" "Yes," I said before he even finished the question. We went straight to Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa's house to tell them. They cried happy tears. Aunt Melissa hugged us both so hard I thought my ribs might crack. Again, Uncle Oscar got misty-eyed and tried to hide it. "Uncle Oscar," I said, "would you walk me down the aisle?" His eyes filled with actual tears this time, but then he paused. "I'm honored, I really am, but I don't want to cross a line here. You should ask your father first." And because Uncle Oscar is a good man who believes in doing the right thing, I nodded. "Okay," I said, and spoiler alert, that didn't go well. Thomas's parents wanted to meet mine before the wedding. You know, traditional stuff. Both families getting together, making small talk, pretending to like each other. I set it up. Saturday dinner. Both families. Nice restaurant. Friday afternoon, my phone rang. "Tyler needs help moving into his new apartment tomorrow. We can't make it," my mom said. I wasn't even surprised. Not even a little bit. "It's okay, Mom. Enjoy your day with Tyler." I hung up. Then I called Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa. "Can you come instead? We'll be there, kiddo." The dinner was perfect. Thomas's parents, David and Carol, and Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa hit it off immediately. Turns out David and Oscar both love fishing. Carol and Aunt Melissa both garden. They talked about the wedding, about us, about our future. Nobody mentioned my parents' absence, because the people who mattered were there. We set the date, October 15th. I called my mom. "The wedding is October 15th. You're invited." Short, simple, to the point. "Of course we'll be there," she said. "I'll send you the details," I said, and hung up before she could ask who was walking me down the aisle. Because at this point, I already knew the answer, and it wasn't my dad. 3 days later, my mom called back. "Jana, exciting news, Tyler got engaged." "That's great, Mom. Congratulations to him." "We're throwing them an engagement party. We've already booked the venue, October 15th. I felt my stomach drop. "Mom," I said slowly, "that's my wedding day." Silence. Just silence. Then, oh no, we completely forgot. "Can you reschedule? We've already put down deposits for Tyler's venue." And there it was. "What's new, right?" I said, and I couldn't keep the bitterness out of my voice even if I tried. "No, Jana, this is..." My dad's voice came on the line. Speakerphone. "Great. Jana, you need to reschedule your wedding. We've already committed to Tyler." Not, "We're so sorry." Not, "Let's figure this out." Just reschedule your wedding. "No," I said. "I'm not rescheduling." "We've already paid deposits," he started. "And Thomas's parents already paid for my wedding venue. Funny how that works. They can't cancel either." "You're being difficult? I'm being difficult?" I almost laughed. "You scheduled Tyler's engagement party on my wedding day, and I'm the difficult one?" "If you're going to keep giving us a hard time about this," my dad said, and his voice had that edge to it, "then don't contact us anymore." I went quiet. This was it. This was the moment. "I can't reschedule," I said calmly. "So you can go to Tyler's party. Tell him congratulations, and don't worry, Uncle Oscar will walk me down the aisle." Dead silence. "What did you just say?" My dad's voice went cold. "Uncle Oscar is walking me down the aisle." "I'm your father," he started. "Are you, though?" I asked. "Because you canceled on meeting Thomas's parents to help Tyler move. You're canceling on my wedding to go to his engagement party. You've chosen him over me my entire life. So yeah, Uncle Oscar is walking me down the aisle, because he's actually been there." "I mean it, Jana," my dad's voice rose. "If you're going to be stubborn and keep causing us this headache, then don't call us. Don't contact us. Ever again." I took a breath, and I felt relief. Pure, overwhelming relief. "Okay," I said calmly. "If that's what you want, then I guess this is goodbye. Have fun at Tyler's party." I hung up. Thomas was staring at me from across the room. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. And I meant it. I'm okay. For the first time in 27 years, I was actually okay. The next day, I went to Uncle Oscar's house. "My parents aren't coming to the wedding," I said. "They're going to Tyler's engagement party instead, and my dad told me not to contact them anymore." Oscar's face went through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. He said, "What?" His voice was dangerous. "It's fine," I said quickly. "It's actually fine," I came to ask you officially. Will you walk me down the aisle? His expression softened immediately. Of course, kiddo. It would be my honor. My absolute honor. He hugged me tight. You've been more of a father to me than he ever was, I said into his shoulder. And you've been like a daughter to us, he said. We love you, Jana. We always have. October 15th came. The venue was beautiful. Everyone I loved was there, except 2 people. I'd left 2 empty seats in the front row with their names on place cards. Lindsay Matthews and Paul Matthews. I wanted everyone to see those empty seats, to know they'd chosen Tyler's engagement party over my wedding. At 3 p.m., Uncle Oscar walked me down the aisle. Thomas was crying. Uncle Oscar placed my hand in Thomas's and told him to take care of me. The ceremony was perfect. Everyone who mattered was there. The empty seats were visible to everyone, but they didn't hurt. We celebrated, danced, laughed. I didn't think about those empty seats once. After the wedding, life moved forward. Thomas and I bought a house in Nevada. I got promoted again. Thomas's business grew. We were happy. My parents never called, never texted, never reached out, and I didn't either. They told me not to contact them, and I'm nothing if not obedient. 2 years later, I got pregnant. Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa were thrilled. I never told my biological parents. Hope Parker was born on a Tuesday. Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa were in the delivery room. They became Grandpa Oscar and Grandma Melissa. They were her grandparents in every way that mattered. When Hope was 2, Thomas got promoted, branch manager for the Texas office. Big raise, better opportunities. It's a big move, he said. Are you okay with it? My parents lived an hour away. I hadn't seen them in 5 years. I'm okay with it, I said. There's nothing keeping us here. We had a goodbye party before the move. Friends, colleagues, family, the real kind. Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa, Uncle Sam and Aunt Betty, my cousins. At some point, someone mentioned Jana's 2-year-old daughter in conversation. I didn't think anything of it. A week after we moved to Texas, I got a text from Uncle Oscar. Your parents found out about Hope from someone at the party. They showed up at our house, demanding to know where you live. I stared at my phone. Another text came through. I told them, why would you want to know? You told Jana not to contact you anymore. It's not our place to tell you where she is. All we know is they moved out of state. They left angry. Just thought you should know. I texted back a simple thank you. That was it. No phone calls, no drama, just a text. My parents had finally realized what they'd lost. But it was too late. They have a granddaughter they've never met. A granddaughter who doesn't even know they exist. And honestly, that's their loss, not mine. So fast forward. I'm sitting in my Texas living room right now, watching Thomas make hot chocolate for Hope while she arranges her stuffed animals because they need to be fair. My 2-year-old daughter understands fairness better than my parents ever did. Tyler never reached out, not once since I moved out for college. He's been a stranger to me for a very long time. I have everything I need. A career I love, a husband who sees me, a daughter who will never feel invisible. Uncle Oscar and Aunt Melissa visit all the time. My parents? Strangers who share my DNA. My parents stopped showing up a long time ago, so I stopped waiting, and I have a family of my own, a family that sees me, a family that chooses me, a family that shows up every single time. I'm glad I ended up with people who saw my worth. And that wraps up today's story. I hope it stayed with you. A like and subscribe would mean so much. It's what keeps this channel going. Let me know, where are you right now? I'm always curious where these stories find you. This is Melodic Vengeance. See you in the next one. Take care.
If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Don't forget to follow for more content just like this. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.